Welcome into another video. It is Tuesday and it is power rankings time. We are getting into the thick of it, folks. We are getting into the thick of it. It is week 13. Only 6 games left. Some only have 5 games left. It is about to get real juicy. This is when the real playoff pushes start, and it's a great slate of football this upcoming week. We got 3, honestly, pretty big Thanksgiving games. Packers and Lions, very tight race in the NFC North right now. Chiefs, Cowboys, both still kind of crunching away, trying to get a taste of that wild card spot. And then you got the Ravens and the Bengals. Joe Burrow's return. The Ravens just taking over the top of the AFC North. The Bengals only 3 games back, trying to see if they can make a last-minute push into the postseason, bringing back Joey B. Disagree with the move? That's for another time. And then Friday, Black Friday game against my Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. And then a great slate on Sunday leading into Monday. Could not be more excited about this. Let's get into the real juice. As you can see here, I have 11 through 32 laid out for you guys. A new number 32 team with the Las Vegas Raiders taking over the worst team in the NFL spot. Maybe a bold take, but holy shit, they are looking bad. Let's go ahead and get into it with number 10. That's the Indianapolis Colts, coming off of their probably toughest loss of the season. You really had a chance to kind of put your stamp on your season and make a name for yourself and really kind of get over that hump of where the NFL views you, and that's as a serious team in the NFL, and they just could not do it. Blowing a 2-score lead on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs is a tough one. I'm still really liking what I'm seeing, but I feel like this Sunday's game against the Houston Texans is going to be a huge testament to this team. Like, that Texans defense is nuts. Like, nuts. Sacking Josh Allen, what was it, 8 or 9 times on Thursday night's game? Daniel Jones, who has 7 turnovers in his last 3 games, is going to have his work cut out for him on Sunday. They are going to have to find a way to get Jonathan Taylor going if they want to beat the Houston Texans, because they're really starting to roll now. They're getting hot. They are getting hot. They get CJ Stroud back. We're going to see how he looks after a concussion injury. I'm really looking forward to this game on Sunday. A huge test for the Indianapolis Colts, who very well could slip out of my top 10 if they cannot find a way to beat the Houston Texans on Sunday. Let's go ahead and move into my number 9 team. It's the Baltimore Ravens. 5 straight wins. Started 1-5, 5 straight wins. Now 6-5 on top of the AFC North. Now, I have my cautions with this. Their offense is, maybe just kind of beating up on the bad teams, and that's okay. So they're not asking Lamar to overly do too much, and their defense has been lights out over the last 5 weeks. Really, it has been absolutely lights out. But I'm worried that maybe Lamar's got some lingering injuries or something, because he's had 3 straight games where he hasn't really put out the best performances. Like I said, I know that Sunday's game really kind of ran through Derrick Henry, and that's all right, but their schedule is going to start getting a little tougher over the next few weeks. I think they have, Joe Burrow. I talked about that. They have Joe Burrow and the Bengals on Thursday night. Lamar's going to have to show up and play his A game. Like, he's going to have to go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow coming off the injury in that high-powered Cincinnati offense. Like, he's going to have to be ready for war, and I'm looking forward to that game. I think it's going to be an ultimate battle. Number 8, I got the Detroit Lions, who were really, really close to being on the verge of their worst loss of the season. And it really would have been kind of not necessarily fully detrimental to them. I think the Lions are still a very good team, obviously in my top 8 here. But you lose that game to the Giants, you're staring at 6-5, and that would have been really bad, because you got the Bears at 8-3, you got the Packers at 7-3-1. That would have been really, really ugly for that Detroit team if they lost the game to the Giants, but they didn't. Jahmyr Gibbs went off. They prevailed. Jameis Winston always has a little bit of magic spark into him, so I'm not trying to hold it against him too much, but revenge game coming up. You got the Packers, Thanksgiving in 2 days, Thursday morning. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a very fun game, really, because I think whoever wins that one has a really good chance of taking the North. I think that kind of maybe doesn't seal it, but Packers kind of beat the hell out of them in week 1. The Lions are at home now. They're going to be coming in hot, coming in hungry. So it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm excited to see that one. That could be a real testament on who takes the NFC North this year. But don't leave, I still got my Bears in there. Don't be sleeping on them. Don't be sleeping on them. Number 7, we got the Buffalo Bills. Just a very demoralizing loss to the Houston Texans. I don't know, like, those are ones as fans that you're watching, and it just gets you sick to your stomach, doesn't it? Just watching your franchise quarterback get his ass beat. like in time after time after time after time. I know that they had a sort of beat up offensive line, but you got outplayed, more physical. It was just a brutal game for the Bills offensive line and Josh Allen, who just took an absolute beating and came up in pain a couple of times. They've got to figure out something offensively. Maybe Joe Brady's just not the guy that I thought he was, and had the guy playing at an MVP level last year, and he might honestly. I feel like he's gonna have a hard time maybe finding himself a head coaching job, because I thought maybe he was gonna be one of those guys over the course of the years that he was gonna finally get in there, as this MVP season with Josh Allen kind of misses the cycle, and this was looking to be the year that he finally gets a gig, and here we are. The Bills offense is once again sort of stagnant, and it's not looking great. They've really got to figure something out offensively. They need another weapon. They do. And I've kind of been a denier of they absolutely need to draft another wide receiver or go sign another wide receiver, because I think Josh Allen is that good, and he can really kind of do it all on his own, and he can work with Shakir. He can work with Gabe Davis, Tyrell Shavers, Keon Coleman, Kincaid, and Knox. Like he can make it work with those guys. He won an MVP with those guys just last year. But I'm starting to think that he needs another weapon, because it's looking pretty rough offensively. Let's go ahead and move into number 6, finishing up my 6 through 10's Philadelphia Eagles. Talk about demoralizing losses. I mean, we just talked about the Bills and the Texans. That is about as demoralizing as it can get for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's such a beautiful thing about what the NFL is this year. Like, who am I to say that the Eagles are truly better than the Buffalo Bills? Like, really? Like, I feel like you can pick like any of these teams. Ravens, they could still do it. Lions, they could still do it. I mean, it is fluctuating left and right around here, man. Like, I have had teams go in my top 5, lose out of my top 5. Goodbye. Time and time again this year. Like, nobody truly looks good except for my number 1 team, and they're an absolute Goliath. Like, it's going to be a bunch of Davids chasing down the Goliath this year. Let me tell you that right now. That is the truth. But nobody really, I mean, that's what's so beautiful about the NFL, though. There's so much parity. But the Eagles really got to figure some shit out, man. I had them at number 2 last week. I stated that I have so much faith in Vic Fangio, and I think that their offensive weapons are going to figure it out. And it really seemed to be like, hey, the Eagles are back, 21 points. Here we go. A.J. Brown gets 1 target after he started the game off insanely hot? How do you allow that, Kevin Patullo? Eagles fans want him dead. They want him dead. They've really got to figure some shit out. They have to, because if this team starts to, fall apart right now, it's not great. And the Bears don't have a great defense, but they take the ball away and they're good on 3rd down. So they have a really big test on Friday against a team who has rifled off 4 straight wins, but people kind of view as maybe fraudulent because the strength of schedule hasn't necessarily all been there for them. But they need to figure it out, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out on Friday against the Bears. They lose Friday to my Bears. It could be entering into a spiral for the Philadelphia Eagles. Go ahead and move my number 5 team, the Denver Broncos. I don't think this is my highest ranking for them this year. I think I had them in the top 5 after they beat the Eagles, but had them at 7 last week, gave them a boost, dropped the Eagles out, dropped the Bills out. I'm looking at their next 2 games. What do you got here for me, Denver? It was cakewalk. They're going to get the Commanders on Sunday Night Football this weekend. Should be an absolute ass beating. I cannot imagine Marcus Mariota being able to move the ball up and down the field on this Denver defense in any way, shape, or form. And then after that, you got the Raiders, who you kind of barely squeaked out a win against the first time. Can't be that way this time. You need to go put belt the ass on them, because they just got kind of belted by the Cleveland Browns. You need to go put an absolute whooping on the Raiders and really get hot 11-2 into those last 3 games of the season. That's where it's get real juicy. That's where it's going to get real juicy. Or last 6 games of the season. That's where it's going to get fun for you guys, because after that, it's not necessarily a cakewalk. You got the Chiefs another time. I know you got the Packers in that mix. You got the Chargers one more time, I believe. It's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Denver Broncos can do over the course of the rest of the season. Number 4, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Not necessarily the prettiest game against the Tennessee Titans. You don't really think that Titans were only going to lose by 6 with a chance to, come and get the onside kick at the end there. But end of the day, though, it's the NFL. Titans, got some fight in them. Seahawks probably were just overlooking them a little bit. But Jackson Smith-Njigba is so good. Like, he cannot be stopped. He's on pace to break the record. Who would have thought that? Like, I'm a huge JSN guy. I was a huge JSN guy, coming out of Ohio State. He was the best receiver in that class. There was no doubt about it in my mind. Guy should have been a top 10 pick, and I think he slipped all the way to like 20 where Seattle was. But I was not expecting him to be on pace to break the record for most receiving yards in a season. He's on pace to have 2,000 receiving yards. Like, that is nuts. Nuts. They're so good. Their defense is still super good. They got the Vikings coming up. That should be an easy win for them. I expect them to continue to keep this going and get to 9-3 this week. Let's go ahead and move into my number 3 team, and that is the New England Patriots. This is my highest ranking for them so far. Like I said, the strength of schedule is what people keep talking about with this team. But Drake May's playing good football. The defense is playing good football. It's like you play who's on your schedule, and they did beat the Bills once this year. There's going to be some tests still a long way for them. They got the Ravens and the Bills once more. Outside of that, it looks pretty still cake. To me, it's pretty easy still. But those are the 2 games that you got to have circled. You got the Giants this upcoming Sunday, then you get your bye week. Those are the 2 games you got to have circled. Those are going to be where you can kind of get to really see the Patriots in a true test against the Bills once again, and then the Ravens. That's where the fun's going to be. They kind of wasn't necessarily an ugly win. They kind of were in control over the Bengals for most of the game. They were down early, found back the lead, and then the Bengals made it some sort of a game towards the end there, had a chance to win it, but they couldn't pull through. Patriots held on. They're 10-2. You got to play who's on your schedule, and they look good. The offense is rolling, defense is rolling. There's no doubt about it. It'll just be interesting to see what they do against the Bills and the Ravens. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs, back into my top 2. Probably going to get a lot of hate for that. People cannot stand that I continue to put the Chiefs into my top 5. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say. I've talked about it week after week after week. The thing is like everybody kind of views them as like the team you don't want to see in the playoffs. They're like, what are you getting so pissed off for that I have them at number 2? Like, if nobody wants to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, no shit, nobody wants to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Why would you want to see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs? They win. They've been winning 5 straight years, 6 straight years, 7 straight years. They win. That's all they do. Like, nobody wants to see them. Yeah, they're 6-5. What a huge win for them, though. Like, that was where the panic button would have start to get pressed for me on this team. Comeback win, down 2 scores against a really good Colts team. A very big win for them to kind of propel their season into potentially another level. You got the Cowboys this Thursday on Thanksgiving. That's going to be a fun one. That is going to be a fun game, a big game. Both of those teams still kind of trying to keep their hopes alive. I talked about it, earlier in the video just a little bit ago about those teams are fighting for playoff spots still. They're not necessarily out of it. And then after that, you got Houston. That's a test for an offense that can't finish right now. They can't really finish their drives, score a shit ton of points. That's going to be a test. So a couple interesting weeks here for the Kansas City Chiefs, but this is the team that everybody's labeling. Nobody wants to see them in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm going to put the winners, the proven winners over the last few years who I've said that I know they're 6-5, but if they get there, am I really going to doubt them? Like, is anybody really going to doubt them? I'm not. I'm afraid they're going to get their dark magic back. And I think they're starting to get a little bit of taste of that comeback win. Chris Jones really stepping up. Patrick Mahomes finding a way. I know he didn't have a touchdown through a pick, but he was able to move the ball down the field. Rasheed Rice is a dog. I think these guys are really going to start to get hot, especially if they win this Thursday. But every time I've said that the Chiefs are going to get hot, they lose. And then here's your Goliath. It was so nice for the nation, the whole nation, to finally get to see what I've been talking about with the Los Angeles Rams. Like, I've been saying it all year, all offseason, back in July. Rams are a force. Here they are, 9-2. I mean, they beat like Matthew Stafford, 200 yards at halftime, couple tugs. No problem. Ain't no problem. Bucks aren't no slouches. They've been beat up, yeah, but no slouches. Stomped them. Just rolled them. Rolled them for the whole nation to see. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want out of your Goliath. There is now targets on the back of the Los Angeles Rams. They are the favorites. They are the Super Bowl favorites. Go do it. That's all you got to do is go do it. Matthew Stafford is the MVP this season. Their defense is insane. Chris Shula is probably going to get a head coaching job or at least some interviews. Go do it. Those are your Goliaths. And until proven otherwise, they're going to stay at my Goliaths. I think this is now 4 straight weeks I want to say 4 straight weeks as them as my number one team in the NFL. I don't see them losing it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Power Rankings video. Happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful for family, food, football, the 3 F's, the 3 most important F's of every Thanksgiving: food, family, football, and T, thankfulness. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video. Happy holidays. We'll see you after the break. Peace.